The Syrian government called upon the UN Security General to shoulder its responsibility to prevent any aggression on Syria. Arab and international condemnations of America's intention to wage war on Syria continue. Our valiant armed forces defeat terrorist gangs and impose a military siege on the Damascus countryside. Welcome to our news bulletin. I'm Dania Nizam. Syria's permanent representative at the UN, Al-Jaafari, sent two identical letters to the UN calling upon the UN Security Council to preserve its role as a safety valve, preventing the disruptive use of force outside the context of international legitimacy. He asserted that the Syrian government warned more than 1 year ago against the serious risks of the use of chemical weapons by terrorist groups. Syria also warned the Secretary General and the Security Council against the activities of such groups. He added that Syria asserts once more that it has never used chemical weapons. On the contrary, it took the initiative of calling upon the Secretary General to form a team of scientific investigation of the use of chemical weapons in the town of Khan al-Assad last March. Al-Jaafari pointed out that the Syrian government is keen to protect the safety of its people and to preserve its sovereignty and independence.
12 terrorist members of Jabhat al-Nusra.
The chairman of the Iranian Shura Majlis, Ali Larijani, asserted that the American preparations to wage war in Syria would fail before the will of the people. He has said the US and Britain continue their moves to wage war in Syria in spite of the failure of their plots before the UN Security Council and the rejection of any military move against Syria by the British House of Commons. He added that several countries in the region pledged to America that they would bear the cost of the aggression in collaboration with the Israeli intelligence. This means that most countries of the region have become war merchants, calling for aggression on Syria. They could not change the situation through dispatching terrorists and weapons to Syria. Therefore, they appeared from behind the curtain and assumed the role of aggressors in the arena. Egypt reasserted its attitude of rejection any military action by the US and its allies against Syria. The Egyptian Foreign Minister Nabil Fahmy said in a TV interview that Egypt rejects the use of military force against Syria. He pointed out that the American arena has borne the burden of war against Iraq and Afghanistan. Therefore, Obama resorted to the Congress in order to protect himself. Al-Azhar Mosque expressed its strong rejection and condemnation of Obama's intention to wage war on Syria. Al-Azhar stressed in its statement that the Syrian people have the right to self-determination and to choose their own rulers freely and with full transparency. President Nicolás Maduro of Venezuela asserted that America's intended military aggression on Syria would be a criminal act. He asserted that the plotted wars to plunder the wealth of nations can never be just or necessary. The people of the world should spread peace. He pointed out that the intention of the American president to usurp the role of the UN and to pass judgment on the Syrian government puts the world in a difficult position. Nobody should violate the international norms and mechanisms. Otherwise, war and destruction will be the result against this world. British Foreign Secretary William Hague stressed that the British government respects the decision of the House of Commons as it won't support the US in a military strike against Syria. The British House of Commons on Thursday rejected a memorandum submitted by the government of David Cameron to justify a military strike against Syria in a setback for the Prime Minister, who pledged to submit to the will of the House of Commons. The American President Barack Obama announced his insistence on the option of military aggression on Syria and on the basis of the well-known lies of his administration. However, he asked for the opinion of the Congress in order to make such a decision final and irrevocable. Obama repeated the false claims of his administration about the use of chemical weapons by the Syrian government in the Damascus countryside. He did not offer any proof of such claims. He was afraid for his allies in the region, including Israel and Turkey. Yet he considered events in Syria a threat to America's national security. He said the US should make a military move against certain targets in Syria. He claimed that his intervention would not be open or long and that no land forces would enter the field. He would not wait for the resolutions of the International Investigation Committee in its report. In Hom's countryside, the Syrian Arab army eliminated an armed terrorist group and injured the rest between the two villages of Al-Salim and Tel Khazna in Al-Mashrafa area as the army seized a communication device, ammunition, including sniper bullets. In India, the students, the Syrian expatriates and several academics, party leaders and citizens participated in a solidarity rally with Syria against the threats to launch an aggression against it. The participants denounced the American Zionist interference with the Syrian issue, stressing their rejection to any aggression against Syria. The protesters shouted slogans against the Zionism and the United States. For his part, the Vatican Pope Francis announces a fasting day all over the world for peace in Syria. In rejection to Obama's threats against Syria, the Syrian community and the expatriates organized a rally in solidarity against the war in the American cities and organized sit-ins in solidarity with the Syrian people to protest against any military aggression on Syria.
I'm here to say no war on Syria. We're not fooled by the lies of the Obama administration. An attack on Syria would be illegal. And we're here, like we're here all over the country right now, protesting against a possible war on Syria. To say that, hands off Syria.
For more news, you can visit our website, syriaonline.sy. After the break, it's our economic news with Vani. We say to all our patriotic citizens, the victory is imminent.